Hey everybody, David here, and today I'm going to be talking about Star Trek Discovery, Season 1, Episode 1, The Vulcan Hello, and I only got to see the first episode because it aired on CTV in Canada, and the second episode is actually going to be airing on the Space Channel. Unfortunately, I don't have the Space Channel, so I can only review the first episodes, but that's fine. One episode is better than nothing, right? I am not a huge Star Trek fan. I'm going to admit that. I have never really gotten into the original. I never got into some of the other ones, except for The Next Generation. That was the only one that I actually watched fully and enjoyed it. I did enjoy all the movies. That includes the one with the original crew. And I know this show takes place like 10 years before the original crew in the original timeline. Which is weird because they have the Klingons looking like the ones from the J.J. Abrams reboot films, where in the original series, the Klingons never really look like this, from my understanding, and from pictures that I've seen and all that. But you know what? For the most part, I don't have anything against Star Trek. I just could never get into them like other people have gotten into them. But the movies I appreciate. The Next Generation I really enjoyed. So going into this series, I was kind of not sure what to expect. I was thinking to myself, I wasn't really impressed by the trailers that I've seen. I really thought this pilot was pretty good. I enjoyed what I saw. At first, in the beginning, I was kind of a little bit bored of it. But as soon as the whole Klingons returning started kicking in to the main plot, that's where, okay, this is kind of intriguing me now. I like where this is going. I actually did really enjoy all the characters. Michelle Yeoh plays the captain. We got Doug Jones playing this alien type character. That he looked really cool and he seemed pretty cool. And we even got a Vulcan as the number one, the captain's second in command, or her first in command, which is really cool. You know, sometimes you watch these shows. I haven't seen every Star Trek show, but like The Next Generation, it was Captain Picard was the captain and Riker was the number one, right? And I guess in the original series, Captain Kirk was the captain, and I guess Spock was his number one. So it's actually kind of nice and refreshing to have two females as the captain and the number one. I thought that was a really nice change of pace, if you will. I know there was one captain that was a female captain, Captain Janeway, I think. But I never watched too much of Voyager, so I don't know who was her number one. But yeah, I seem to really like the characters a lot in this episode, and liked the adventure that they were on, trying to uncover the mystery of the Klingons, because apparently they've been not around for 100 years, according to the show. Like, they've been hidden or something for 100 years, and they were I guess Earth, or the Federation at least, has been trying to not disrupt them because they don't want to cause a war. It sounds like North Korea right now. Thankfully, the Federation doesn't have a president that wants to cause war. You know, I thought the special effects in the episode were pretty good. For a Star Trek series, especially when you compare it to the past Trek shows. I thought the only thing that I was kind of disappointed with was, it wasn't really a disappointment, but I was looking forward to seeing him, but he didn't get introduced in the first episode, was Jason Isaacs' character. And I'm sure I'm going to hear more about his character later on. And I hope I find a way to watch the show without having to watch it on Space. Like, I hope it gets put on iTunes eventually, or maybe they put the show on DVD or Blu-ray, whatever. And eventually I will. I think I am interested in where the show is going. It does seem like a really nice start for a new Star Trek show. And you know, I think coming from somebody like me who's not really a hardcore fan, I think that's something good, because you do need to bring in new audiences to this franchise. And I think that's what the J.J. Abrams films did for me. They made me more curious about the history of this franchise. And so having a show that maybe has a good balance of what the older fans want plus something of what the newer fans want, maybe they can try to combine that. And to me, it feels like that's what this episode was really trying to do, is trying to combine the new with the old. And I think they succeeded at that. I thought it was even really cool when we got to see Sarek. I think that's the character's name. Spock's father was in this pilot. And it was really cool because I'm familiar with that character. I've seen the J.J. Abrams films. I know he appeared on a few episodes of The Next Generation. So I'm familiar with that character. And that kind of shows us that, hey, maybe we can see some of the other characters from the original crew on this show. Maybe younger versions of them. So that could be pretty interesting, especially if this show takes place 5 or 10 years before the original series. I mean, yeah, we could see Captain Kirk at 20 years old or in his teens or whatever. I think that would be pretty sweet if they did continue this and they did that eventually. I wouldn't be angry about it. I think it would be. I like the lore of Star Trek. I appreciate it on that level. I get world building and mythology and all that. And Star Trek obviously has a big enough fan base that they can do, not just a fan base, but a big enough universe that they can do that can rival something like Star Wars. So with that being said, guys, I really like this pilot. If you checked it out, comment below and tell me your thoughts on what you guys thought of the first and even second episode if you want. I haven't seen the second episode, but if you want to talk about it, go for it. And like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.